Hi, Mama. You're beautiful.
Turn it off. No, not this episode, but that voice in your head that's telling you right now that you should feel guilty for clicking on an episode title with this topic. My friend, my mama, we're going to dive in today on a topic that every mom, I promise you, at some point has felt deep inside her heart, the sensation of being stuck in the routine of mom life. So please leave your judgment at the door. It has no place here. And I want you to just give yourself that pat on the back and know that you are seen and that you are safe here. Now, let me paint a picture for you. You wake up and it's the same dang diaper change, breakfast scramble, and toddler chase. The days are just seeming to blur together, and sometimes you wonder if you're more than just a robot than a mom, right? Okay. Here's the thing, my friends, my fellow moms in arms, because I'm there and I want you to know, I want us to know, right? We are so much more than, I'm doing air quotes, just a mom. You, mama, are a vibrant, dynamic, and multifaceted women with dreams, passions, and an unquenchable thirst for life. I feel like I should be doing some snaps with that. So if you ever felt that itch, something deep inside your soul for a change, if you've ever wondered how to add a little spice back into your mom routine, well, I promise you're in the right spot. You're in for a treat today. Today, we're going to embark on a journey of transformation. Yes, just in these 20 minutes that I've got with you. I have 3 sizzling ideas to help you break out of that routine and rediscover the fiery spirit that is deep within you. I promise some of these are going to stretch you a little bit. They may even come off as a little unconventional. These ideas aren't just about creating excitement for today, however. It's all about reigniting the passions and dreams that make you uniquely you. So before we dive in, go ahead, grab your favorite mug of something warm, or hey, maybe a glass of wine if it's really been one of those days. Find a cozy corner to sit and let's start unearthing the treasures of your vibrant self.
Hey Mama, welcome to the Energized Mama podcast. Do you want a better work-life balance and more time and energy? Do you find yourself thinking, how can I add more hours into the day? Or are you Googling how to deal with mom guilt and can my marriage survive toddlers? Do you wake up with big goals only to feel overwhelmed and defeated when you have no one to help you and your littles aren't listening to you again? Hey, I'm Cheyenne. I too was an exhausted mom away from the help of my family. I too felt constantly drained with a strong-willed toddler and wished I could find balance between being a wife, a mom, stepmom, and entrepreneur. I wanted more energy to give myself and my husband, to discipline my kids confidently, and incorporate faith into our home. All the things, right? But I kept telling myself that I couldn't do it feeling this exhausted and without a community supporting around me. Until I found a healthy balance and endless energy in raising Jesus-loving littles. In this podcast, you will find that too. You will find time and energy boosting tips and tricks, guidance for disciplining your littles, and what to do when you have no help so that you will find balance between all your roles. Stop feeling drained and learn to trust your own mom tuition. Time to grab those headphones, pour that green smoothie, and get ready to get your daily energy boost. I've got you, Mama.
So here we are, mamas, ready to dive into 3 tips that I personally came up with, and also just from talking with other moms in our community. Because, whether you think about it or not, we are connected with a tribe of women from all over the world. If you're a mom, if you have littles, and especially if you're a Christian, there are women all around the world, even in your own community, that feel this exact same way that you do. So please, when you listen to this episode, and if it hits you in a certain way and it makes you feel invigorated as I'm praying that it causes you to be, please send it over to another mom that you know may need this exact message in her life. So I want to take you back for a second, because I'll never remember the first morning I woke up and I actually felt like, am I going to do this all over again? I've always been a very optimistic person. I've, been that person that my husband says likes to optimize the shoot out of everybody. I hope we all have a friend like that in our life that helps us see that silver lining in every situation. And not sitting here to gloat, but I've always been that friend. So that those moments that I started to wake up and think, oh my gosh, like, can we just make it through lunchtime or after lunchtime when I would be looking forward to putting my kids to bed, because I just was starting to feel the monotony of my everyday life, and I love being a mom, and maybe you feel the same way, and I'm sure you love being a mom, right? But I considered those days, especially the first few days, I started to wake up like that as a wake up call. Like, okay, something is not working for me, because I love my kids and I love being a mom, but I can't just be defined by being their mom anymore. So that's where this all came from, a very real, a really personal place. And so if you're there, again, leave that judgment at the door today and let yourself just be today. Learn from me, learn from other moms in my community, because this isn't just tips that I came up with. Some of them are, but some of them came from moms in my private community, and also as just women that I talk with and do life with. So here we go. I'm going to dive into tip 1 right away. So if you're feeling just utterly stuck in your mom life right now, like you're just like, man, I have no idea how to get out of this rut, my first tip is sign up for a race. Say what? I'm serious. Sign up for some kind of race, especially if you live in the United States. And honestly, I myself have lived in Europe for over 5 years, so I've gotten to see that this is becoming quite popular all around the world. But there are all kinds of races for pretty much any kind of cause you can imagine. There's races for breast cancer, there's turkey trots before Thanksgiving here, and if there's not one, create one in your community. And why do I say this is because I believe every mom needs a goal. You need something to work for, to experience a sense of accomplishment, and something that has a purpose outside of your kids. Now, as being the self-professed energized mama, and as being a woman who wants to increase energy in your life, one of my huge pillars in my life that help me do that is by making sure I have an established workout routine in my everyday life and my week. Sometimes it ebbs and flows, and depending on our children's needs, right? Sometimes your children are, say, having a sleep regression, or they're knee deep in, potty training or teething. So sometimes your schedule changes, but that's where routines come in handy. And by adding a race that you can train for, that you can get outside the house and run and work your way up to, that is going to give you such an opportunity to be so beneficial in so many ways. For one, it's going to give you a goal, and more than likely a short-term goal that you can work for. It's also going to give you time and space to get out of the house. Give yourself a chance, even if you have to throw your kids in a jogging stroller, but give yourself a chance to clear that energy and that negative energy that maybe is building up inside you. Give you a chance to focus on something completely different other than your laundry, your chores, your kids fighting, and just get out on that open road. Or maybe you live somewhere where right now at the time you're listening to this there's snow on the ground, it's freezing. Investing in either a gym membership, which a lot of them have kids clubs nowadays that you can drop your kids off for an hour. I know I personally discovered that beautiful gift at the YMCA. Also, or getting yourself a treadmill. You got to think about the long-term investments and the investments in you. You are worth being invested for. So after this episode, please go Google and look up races in your town for the next 6 months. See one that either speaks to you in the mission that it supports or the distance. I mean, it can be everything from a 5K all the way up to a marathon. I mean, girl, don't let me slow you down. I've actually done 3 marathons myself. So my last one was over 5 years ago. I'm honestly kind of quite dying to see how I do. Those all were before kids. But you can do a 10K, a half marathon. You can do mud runs are super fun, and it can be even something that crosses that barrier of not just doing it for yourself, but for your marriage. My husband and I several years ago did a mud run together, and it was so much fun. It was absolutely amazing. Like, we had such a blast. And many of these runs nowadays also, depending on how old your kids are, start incorporating kids sometimes as young as 3 years old to do their own little kid trot or kid run. So again, it can be something that actually you end up doing with the whole family, and you can start to showcase your focus on your energy and on your health to your children, which is a great example to paint. So again, tip number 1 is sign up for a race. And when you do so, don't just keep it to yourself. If you want to shout it out loud and proud, come do so in my private Facebook community, which I would love to have you a part of anyways. You can go ahead at the end of this episode, go ahead and scroll into the show notes, or I'll just tell you right now, you can find us by typing in momnationcommunity.com, momnationcommunity.com, and I want to see it. You can screenshot your registration form, whatever it is, I want to see it and shout you out. All right, so we got you going with tip number 1, signing up for a race. And my tip number 2 is going to echo that. It's going to be a little similar, except not so much a race, but sign up or join something that is going to push you and motivate you, such as a class, and have it be something you do without your kids. So I think as moms, we so often are always looking for how to get our kids involved, how to socialize our kids, and yet no one's looking out for us anymore, right? You know, whether you are still blessed to have your mom in your life or not, you know, she's not necessarily, organizing your social schedule. I mean, maybe she still is, right? And sometimes that's not always a positive thing. But, you know, we don't have anyone encouraging us or quote unquote making us do anything anymore. You know, that was one thing I remember noticing when I experienced my first year after college. I was 23 years old, and I remember thinking, wow, if I want to stay in shape, or I want to actually have friends, like I'm going to have to go out and do something. I'm no longer in classes where I'm around people my own age. I'm no longer playing sports. Even in college, I did intramurals against other dorms, and all of a sudden I was like, shoot, I'm going to have to create my own schedule. And so now, arguably as a mom as well, think about everything that you want to sign your kids up for. Have you signed them up for a music class? Well, hey girl, why don't you think about picking up an instrument? There are so many of these classes you can also do online. So if you don't have the opportunity to leave the house and go anywhere that has childcare, you can do so much from your own home. What about an art class? I know so many moms want to get their kids using those beautiful creative imaginations, but what about you? When's the last time you've sat down and just picked up a pencil or a marker and you weren't, coloring in a picture of Paw Patrol? There's a lot of great color with me classes or color wine classes kind of thing. I actually have a great friend who does a lot of online paint with me classes that I'll make sure I put a link to her information below. She's also a mom of 2 kids under 10. So she's not only just doing it for her health, but she's created a little business out of it. Just saying that do something outside of your kids. Do something that's going to help you learn and grow. And it is so good for yourself. So often I think when we feel stuck, we think of, okay, I need to give myself maybe some more self-love, self-care. And often I see this on social media that self-care has now equated itself to a glass of wine and a bubble bath or something. And not that those things are not great. I think we definitely need those times in our lives. And certain seasons we do need to take a step back and relax. But sometimes I believe we get stagnant and we feel stuck literally because we don't move. We're not moving. And sometimes that's our body. So maybe you need to sign up for an exercise class or a gym that you've been wanting to figure out and try. Or maybe it's movement of the mind, right? How many different episodes of Peppa Pig and Paw Patrol and Bluey do you probably have memorized up there? Like, you still, as much as you may not realize, have space up there, but dedicate it to something that you're passionate about. When I had moved to Europe 5 years ago, I never really had imagined that I would become bilingual, but while I was there, I began taking Dutch classes. And nu ik kan spreken een beetje Nederlands, het is mijn tweede taal, which I just said. Now I can speak a little Dutch. It's my second language, and it's something that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. And in ebbs and flows of different seasons, it's something that I also can always pick back up again. Even if I come across a season in my life, because as we know, our kids' needs change, our families' needs change. So sometimes we have to put something down, but that doesn't mean that you have to do that forever. So again, think about a class. With me talking now on this point for 3 or 4 minutes, I'm sure there's something that came into your mind, something that popped up. If you're at a loss, there's a lot of different opportunities in your community that you may not be aware of that offer different classes, and some of them actually free for moms. So I know a great community connection for me has been joining my local MOPS. It used to stand for Mothers of Preschoolers. They just recently went through a name change that they are now the Mom Co. grow for the mom community. And a lot of those mothers that are in those classes, they host, meetings, they host classes outside of those meeting times. So that could be another way that maybe you meet up with other moms, and, any moms that just get together and start talking, you're going to find about other things that you can do to nurture your soul. So get around other moms and join something that's going to help grow you and awaken those passions that are inside of you. Hey mama, can you believe it's already October? I mean, it's going to be Christmas before we know it. And if you're anything like me, it's been quite a whirlwind of keeping up with the little ones, hasn't it? I have a question for you. Do you ever find yourself wishing there was a way to just stop feeling emotionally drained? You're not alone if motherhood sometimes feels like an emotional roller coaster. Do you also wish that you could just basically have more energy, for your husband, for yourself, for life in general? Well, I promise you, mama, I've actually been in your shoes, and I know what it's like to crave more, wanting more from life than just being a mom. It is a dream worth pursuing. I know what it's like to feel overwhelmed, that never-ending stress, wondering where to even start to make a change in your life. I know what it's like to lack those healthy habits, the ones that you really want to do and have, but you're kind of totally in the dark which ones actually make a difference long term. I've also struggled to create a plan, feeling completely lost in creating realistic, sustainable strategies for myself. And, ultimately just doubting myself, doubting your energy, wondering if it's even possible to feel energetic while wrangling a household full of littles. But now, mama, I want you to imagine this. What if you woke up each day, instead of feeling emotionally drained, but feeling refreshed with energy to spare? What if you had time for those cherished date nights with your husband? And what if me time actually became a regular part of your everyday routine? And what if you had a simple, tailor-made plan that brought back your energy and allowed you to be the vibrant mama that you long to be, all while at the same time giving your kids the love and care that they need? Well, I have great news for you. That's exactly why I created the More Energy Method. It's your customized blueprint to reclaim your life from the chaos and inject boundless energy into your daily routine. Here's what I'll teach you. To decrease stress and increase energy, I'm going to give you practical strategies to make stress vanish and your energy soar. You'll have a super simple, personalized plan that'll establish new energy boosting habits without taking time away from your kids or demanding huge commitments. Because, right, who's got time for that? You'll walk away with crystal clear clarity. You'll know exactly what to focus on. A foolproof plan. You know exactly how to do it. And perhaps most important, confidence. You'll have the confidence to make these changes last. So, if you're ready to stop feeling overwhelmed the moment you wake up, to feel rejuvenated throughout the day, and go to bed satisfied, even as a busy mom of littles, now's the time to take the leap. During the entire month of October, I'm offering an exclusive deal, 10% off my course and 3 bonus trainings. Don't miss out, mamas. Head over right now to energyformoms.com to grab your exclusive offer today before it expires on November 1st. It's time, mama, to shed the stress, regain yourself, and have energy to spare for you, your husband, and a life beyond just your littles. Let's do this together, mama. And I'm so glad you stuck around for tip number 3, because it may perhaps be the most surprising or unconventional tip for how to get, you unstuck from your mom life, but it's something that I've personally done, and I have had such a deep spiritual awakening and passion come out of it, which is starting a business. That's right, mama. Not to make you feel like, oh gosh, I have to add something else to my plate. I want to implore you to use your talents to bless others. There are so many things that you may not even realize that come natural to you that you could actually teach and help other moms grow, or whoever it is that are your people that you want to help grow, that you want to help teach, that you could do so. And what's beautiful about just the era that we are in is that we have an opportunity to grow a business from our own homes, from our phones. There are so many ways that you can do this. You can actually create online digital products. You can do online coaching. You can create your own actual tangible products. I mean, hello, Etsy, right? A lot of us have heard of that. I know my mom is not, a young mom anymore, but she in her 60s has created this thriving and successful secondhand business where she goes into secondhand stores and she finds things that her ideal customer looks for and wants, and then she's a reseller. She resells it through different online platforms for secondhand items. And so she runs that all from, her local town is where she finds things, and then she gets to send it all across the country from her own home. So she kind of took that talent that she had for being, having that detailed eye, for having that creativity, that extra talent for seeing what people are needing, and now she's using it to bless hers and my parents' bank accounts, right? So whatever it is, whatever you find yourself passionate about, this is a question you need to ask yourself. What are you passionate about? What do you find yourself thinking about at night? What's something that maybe you find yourself saying, man, I really miss that about myself, something before your mom life? Or what is something since becoming a mom that you're like, wow, I had no idea that I liked this, but now I do and I can't shake it. And I find myself talking to other moms about it at church. That thing, start talking about it more with people in person. Or if you use social media, do that too. Share about it. And if you're struggling on figuring out, like, how do I get crystal clear on this thing? Like, how do I move forward? Well, I am so happy to say that I have another great resource for you. Someone who's been such a business and spiritual mentor in my life is Stephanie Gass. She has her own amazing online community and podcast specifically for Christian moms who want to have their own thriving online business. And she has a course called Clarify Your Calling that is amazing for women who want to start a business from home, who want to, pour out their passions into the community and use their talents to bless others and also themselves, their family financially, but they don't know exactly what. They don't know what and they don't know how. Well, Steph can totally help you. And I've put the link to her actual course and her podcast below so that you can dive more into there. I personally took her group coaching program about 6 or 7 months ago, and she's really helped me grow as a mompreneur and to help me use my talents to bless others. So that's right, Mama. Don't be afraid to start a business. I know there's been several of you who have listened to recent episodes of mine and have reached out and asked me about podcasting, about running a Facebook community, about how to create a course, those kinds of things. And so I am very passionate about that. And if those are the type of episodes that you'd like to know more about as well, please let me know. Let me know, write me a review, or if you want to go again in my show notes, there's SpeakPipe. You can leave me a voice message, or you can connect with me on any of my social media platforms. I would love to know because I would love to feature more episodes about that if that's something you're passionate about. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Energized Mama podcast. Mama, I hope you're feeling inspired and honestly that you're ready to shake things up in your mom life, right? I hope I get a bunch of DMs and messages that are shouting out like what race or what class you joined or said, hey, sister, help me. I want to be a mompreneur too. Please, I welcome those kind of messages. I love them so much. And I want the biggest takeaway for you from listening to this message today and dedicating, 15 to 20 minutes with me today is for you to remember that you are more than just a mom. You are a freaking force of nature, Mama. You are capable of incredible things. I want you to embrace the opportunity to add spice to your routine and rediscover that vibrant, multifaceted woman that's within you. And just as a reminder, if you enjoyed today's episode and you found value in our discussion, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button because I've got a bunch of episodes coming up right along this same exact message. You can also rate and leave a review for me, especially on Apple Podcasts. That really helps boost this podcast and get it into more mamas' hands. So your feedback means the world to me, and it really helps other mamas find this supportive community. Now, know that I just absolutely love you. I'm excited to connect with you. Again, if you want to do so in a private Facebook community where there's other mamas like you, please feel free to just go to any of your search engines and type in momnationcommunity.com, and you'll be able to connect with me and our incredible community of other moms. Until then, stay energized, stay vibrant, keep living your best mom life. And until next time, Mama, take care and remember, you've got this.
Is infertility causing you emotional distress? How would you feel if I told you that you're not alone and that there is a brighter way out? I know, Mama, because I've been there. You'll learn how to reset your faith, your feelings, and your emotional twists and turns, and take inspiration from stories from other women. I want you to grab your copy of I'm Fruitful, an infertility support magazine that will help you rekindle your faith after infertility, forgive yourself, and experience grace after such a challenging experience. Join their IG community at I'm Fruitful of supportive women who have been through the same thing as you, as me, and you'll never feel alone again.